Good morning, Culture of Safety. Line team, this is episode number 76. We've got Mr. Curtis Bradley coming along again, sharing welcome to Linework. And if you haven't heard Curtis speak before, man, he does a great job. I've met him several years ago, face-to-face at a T&D trainers conference, train the trainers conference. And where was that? That's San Antonio, Riverwalk area. And we met online prior to that. And if you're looking for a brother, he's a good brother to have. There's a few folks in our industry that are continually trying to better themselves, continuous learning. And Mr. Curtis is one of them. But these folks, they do so not for themselves, but they do so that they could do better for you. And man, he's a great guy. So welcome him. Just real quick, want to let everybody know it's August and it's pretty warm here today. We don't have much of a breeze. It's a little muggy, but we're going to be fine. It's still beautiful and the grass is green. This is a literally a grassroots safety coalition that we started 42 months ago. I can't believe it. Now over 15,000 members are registered. Contact me, Brent at bierermeters, and I'll get you involved. If we got, 76 episodes after today with Mr. Curtis, and you can get every one of these episodes at no cost. We got Asplundh Construction. They're actually sponsoring Mr. Curtis to be here. They're paying for it. Bierermeters, we got Mr. Jeremy back here and Miss Bryce doing the videographer work, and we pay for it. You all receive culture of safety topics at no cost for your line team back home. So this is a unique deal that we've got going here, and I am announcing for the first time that National Rural Electric Cooperative Association, NREC. Thank you, Mr. Ken Mackin, the safety program director for all 904 cooperatives. They have thrown their logo into the partnership logo, and that's wonderful. So all 904 electric cooperatives around the United States are going to be benefiting from what you all are doing here. So welcome aboard, and let's go see Mr. Curtis. Mr. Curtis,
hey,
how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great,
Good
man.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man. Appreciate you letting me be here to be able to share my thoughts on my version of Welcome to Linework, trying to get young people involved and engaged in their safety, the work ethics, and the culture of the industry. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. No, it's great to have you here again.
Yeah,
for the second time,
man.
And I appreciate your new boss at Asplundh saying, "Man, come on over. You got to do this." So we appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate them. They've been very supportive from the gate. We do. Work all across the United States and other countries as well. And so just very blessed to be with an outstanding organization that's really trying to lead the way in customer service and safety, and in making sure that our employees go home safe each and every day, man.
That's awesome. So, Mr. Curtis, tell us a little bit about your background, man. You get out of high school and life's in your face.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah. So a little bit of my story is from Meridian, Mississippi. Started out in high school, didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like most young men, was just being honest, just kind of playing around and not taking life seriously. And after I graduated, me and my wife of 20 years, shout out to my wife, Christina, we just made our 20th year anniversary. We found out we was having a little boy, right out of high school. And so life hit us really, really hard. I did not have a plan for life on what I was going to do. And so I went to the local community college. I was blessed to get into a program called industrial maintenance. And there is where I had an instructor that saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. I needed a little bit of tough love. I needed a little bit of guidance, and he provided that for me. So that certificate, that one-year certificate, allowed me to get on at the local power company, Mississippi Power, where I started August 29, 2005. Very special day. One of the day Katrina come through and devastated the Gulf Coast. And with that, it changed my life. It literally changed my life. I went from, as I tell people, eating ramen noodles and viennas to eating steak and shrimp overnight.
Man.
And so since then, I received great training, was able to serve the community, understand the true service of, serving myself to the community and trying to make an impact and do things like that. And so I stayed there about 15 years, Brett. And then I got a call and got something put on my heart from the good Lord above. They wanted me to go out and teach and try to help more people, educate the communities about the industry. So I had the opportunity to build a Linework program there at East Central Community College.
Yeah.
And so I built 3 across Central Mississippi. And with that, it's a weekend program, so I teach it on Saturdays and Sundays. And, again, it's just the opportunity of trying to get back and offer a program where people are out here working, people are, wanting to do something different who cannot, stop work. It allows them just to come and participate and get a certificate and start their career. And so I do that, and then also too have a nonprofit that I'm really proud about called Want Plus Work Foundation. And so it's based off of our workforce, engaging with high school seniors across Mississippi who are interested in the trades. And so we're always looking for partnerships. And so what we do is go out and communicate and talk about workforce, CDL, line worker, electrical, plumbing, anything in the workforce segment. And then we offer scholarships, very nice scholarships to individuals who want to go to try to help them start their career, get the skills so they can come back and invest into their communities and make a difference. So we've been blessed, man. It's all across the board, got a lot of great things going on. And so just extremely excited to be here, man.
Yeah, Curtis is one of those folks that when he's off duty, he's still on duty. And he helps so many folks. So highly recommend reach out to Mr. Curtis. And Curtis, you've written a couple books now.
Yeah.
That.
So again, it's just one of those things on my bucket list to do. So my first one I got an opportunity to present was Welcome to Linework.
Mm-hmm.
No, excuse me, Selected to Lead.
Yeah.
And so the second one is Welcome to Linework, and my third one is I Am Lineman. And so all of those, I have out on the Amazon platform. But just trying to educate and empower and inspire the people in our industry to, don't bank on anyone else for your safety. Take safety and make it your own, right? It's got to be personal. And nobody should have to tell you to be safe. You should want to be safe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this one where I'll be presenting today is really special because I think it's a niche where a lot of people have overlooked. We know that, it's some need there. We got a different generation that are coming up, and they're all tech savvy and things like that. But we tend to forget that line work is still very physical and demanding on the body, and you're going into a different work culture, different environment. So I just want to prepare them for what they're going to be exposed to, so they can be really successful.
Nice.
Yeah,
good job. So folks, tune in and listen to what Curtis says. And his words are timeless. His words are what we call line wisdom that we need to carry forth in our careers to supplement and create our line legacy, our personal line legacy. And a line legacy, when that XY axis stops in our life, and we end up where the time stops for us, what's really cool is our legacy continues to thrive and foster inside of people. And we got to hand that down and empower these folks. And that's what Mr. Curtis is all about. So listen up. Thank you, brother.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we'll go ahead and get into it. Again, we appreciate you guys tuning in. The presentation is Welcome to Linework, Apprentice Line Workers Action Guide. And so with that, the thought process for the creation of this book was, again, I have access and the privilege to be able to teach on the weekends. And so I was able to identify a lot of gaps for entry-level employees who are coming in who didn't really understand the culture, right? They watch TikTok, they watch Instagram, they watch all these short reels, and they see a guy climbing really fast, or, they see a guy in a bucket, and, unfortunately to them, it's really cool. They see a flash of fire, but for us, we understand that art flash that employee was just exposed to in the bucket was not a good thing. but they see that and they gravitate to it, and then also too, they understand the type of money that can be made in the industry. So I just wanted to take an approach to get them engaged and say, "Ho, let's pump your brakes. These are some of the fundamentals that you need to be really successful, right? And understand that this is literally not a game. This is not something that you download on your phone and play. This is not something where it's just really cool to post a lot of pictures and make a lot of streams. Like, no, this is a career. This is a serious career. And if you don't take your safety in your own hands, right, you might not go home in the way that you came." So we're going to get into the presentation. And so the purpose of the book, as I just mentioned, is a guide that aims to equip newly hired apprentices with the tools for success, right? We want all apprentice line workers to approach their work with focus, eagerness, and excitement. Above all, we emphasize the importance of safety. Your safety should be your top priority every day you arrive at work. This means understanding the significance of discipline and perseverance. And we're going to talk a lot about the discipline piece and the perseverance piece of it as well. The work of keeping the lights on is not only rewarding, but also inherently dangerous. And it is critical that you understand and respect this, right? So my first chapter in the book is you are not a line worker yet, right? A journeyman line worker yet, right? For some reason, a lot of guys, when they come out of these pre-apprenticeship lineman programs, because that's what they are, you know, we say that they're lineman programs because that sounds good and it looks good on a billboard, but they are pre-apprenticeship programs, right? And so no matter where you go, if you are coming out of high school or you're coming out of or coming into the industry, you're going to go through that pre-apprenticeship program, and you need to understand that you are going to be able to apply for either what we call a groundman position or apprentice lineman position, okay? But we need to understand that with that, you are not going to get in the bucket. You're not going to be doing any switching. You're not going to be getting up there transferring phases or anything like that. Like, your role is what we're going to talk about here in these next couple of chapters, right? And so it is making sure that you're here on time, making sure that you're being respectful, making sure that you have the truck ready, make sure you have Gatorade on the truck, like making sure you have everything that you need to soak and absorb all of the information that either that general foreman, if he's out there, that foreman, or that line worker or that lineman in the bucket is going to give you, right? And so you need to be a sponge. And so it's not that we're not valuing that you just came from a line school. No, that's not the point. But we need you to understand and grasp that you need to come in and be a sponge, and you need to listen, and you need to humble yourself, and you need to be the first one in the hole, the last one out of the hole, and that work ethic and pride and all these things, right? It really takes a place in being a line worker and getting out here in the field, right? So trust the process. Stay patient. Always be observant during work situations. That's one of the things where we see a lot of guys fail that's coming up in the industry because you have a distraction. And I don't have my distraction on me right now. I told Brent before we started the podcast, I said, my phones are going to be over there in my vehicle, right? Because that's still a trait of mine with working out there in the field. Like, I don't want that distraction on me, right? And so you need to be observant. And so just imagine this. If you are on your phone and you're just down here kicking the grass or streaming or thumbing your phone and something happens, what are you going to tell that safety supervisor or that foreman or whoever that comes out there? What happened? What happened to the person in the bucket? If you're not observant, you cannot tell the story, right? His wife won't know. His grandmother won't know. His dad won't know. His children won't know. So we need you to be observant, and we need you to be locked in. And for God's sake, if possible, take your cell phone, put it in a place so it won't be a distraction, right? Understand that the groundwork before you get into the bucket. A lot of guys want to jump into the bucket before they understand the basics and the mechanics of being a good groundman or apprentice, an entry-level apprentice, right? Making sure that you have everything lined out for that lineman that's getting up there in the bucket. What I mean by that? Well, you know, if you set up on a single-phase transformer and just say you're fixing to cut over a one-and-out triplex, all right, and you're fixing to transfer it over to the other pole, well, you know that he's going to need some crimpets. You know that he may need some extra one and out, his dead end wraps. You know, ask him, hey, are we going to upgrade the fuse? Here's your cutout. Here's all the things that you need laid out. So when that lineman booms down, he shouldn't have to ask for anything. The only thing you should be able to do is either give it up there to it, or pitch it up there to him, and he should have everything he needs to get up there and do the job. When you do that, you build a relationship, and that lets that lineman know, like, hey, this guy's paying attention. Hey, this guy, he's working hard. He's making sure that I have everything I need, so I'm gonna make sure that he has everything that he needs. Don't get put in an uncomfortable situation. Guys, if you don't have the experience to get up there just because somebody has taken off and you need to change out an insulator on an energized primary, or you need to do some type of switching where you've never done switching before, whatever the case may be, like, speak up. It's okay to say, I am not comfortable with this because I just don't feel like I have the necessary skills or the competency to do it. That's why so many great companies implement these training programs to progress you at a slow pace, to make sure that they are covering their bases, but then making sure that you have all the necessary information so you can get out here and be successful. All right. And if you don't feel comfortable completing a highly skilled work task, let somebody know. If you see something, say something. We say that in the field all the time. But ladies and gentlemen, we need you to speak up, right? And it's all about communication. And that communication is not sending a message through Snapchat or Instagram or whatever the case may be. And for God's sakes, if you are going to send a text message, don't put it in the broken lingo text that we have now. You know, the SMH and the DEL, and people having to try to decipher what all these words are. And then, you know, like myself, I'm asking, like, well, what does this mean? Oh, it means, not at this point, or whatever the case may be. So having that clear communication is very important. The next one is something, right? We're kind of going back old school, because these are the things I knew, but I didn't know how serious it was until I came into the industry, right? On time means you're late, right? So what are we talking about with this? If you don't like getting up early, you better set yourself 2 alarms, right? So if you need to be there at 7 o'clock, I would suggest that you are there at 6:30. I was always told 7 o'clock you're late, 6:45 you're on time, 6:30 that you're early, right? Why? It's because when you come to that service center, you go to that lay down yard, your foreman, your general foreman is going to be expecting you to have that truck ready, right? Go through all of the inspections, and we're going to be ready to roll out to either get some fuel, some ice, or whatever the case may be, so we can get out here on the job and start performing work. And God forsakes, if you go into a scheduled outage where the lights are going to be out at 7 or 8 o'clock that morning or that night, that don't mean you show up at the service center at 7 o'clock. That means we're taking the lights out. We're knocking the lights out, right, at 7 or 8 o'clock. So that means you need to be there a couple of hours early. But a lot of guys struggle with this. And the reason I put this is a lot of guys lose their job because they cannot show up on time, right? And it's a discipline piece of it. You got to be disciplined. It's like, this is what you signed up for. Like, we're expecting you to be on time, to be ready, to go to work, to perform the work, and to go home safe, right? A couple notes on here. If you never hear the alarm, sleep with your phone by your ear. I know most of your younger generation sleep with the phone in their hand, so this shouldn't hinder you at all. Whenever you arrive to work, go straight to the bucket truck or the digger truck and start your vehicle inspections. You don't have the time to hang around with the other guys. I've seen so many guys get pulled in the office. It's because they get there late, and they want to go to the break room and hang around with the lead lineman and the foreman, lead lineman or foreman or lineman, and they want to sit there and drink coffee and watch the weather. No, they have that privilege. They have that right. You need to be out there on the truck, making sure you're going through all of your bolts, making sure you got all your crimpets, making sure that the back of the truck is cleaned off, making sure that you do your pre-flight, you check the oil, you do all of the things so that truck is ready to go to work. So when that lineman or that foreman or whoever comes out and says, okay, we got the work order, let's load up, right? Now, all the thing you got to do is load the material up, and then boom, away you go. And a lot of people struggle with that because it's the discipline piece of it. Remember, you're here to do a job, right? And we want you focused on the job. All of the other stuff that you see that looks cool will be there at a certain time when you get there in your career. If you're late, don't send a message through social media. Please be respectful. I always tell my guys on the weekend, and it was told to me, if you're not going to be available that day, just send your lead lineman or your foreman or your supervisor, give them a phone call, let them know, hey, I'm not going to be here. Some might want a text, but I would really suggest if you want to stay on their good side, don't send nothing through Snapchat or TikTok or anything like that, excuse me, because it's going to be lost in translation. And if you are late, slow down. Don't get a ticket. You're already late. For God's sakes, don't speed through the parking lot, because the power company has certain rules. If you're a contractor and you're working on the customer's property, they have certain rules about speeding and being respectful. So if you're late, you're late. You deal with the consequences whenever you arrive. But again, that's going to save you a speeding ticket, and then that's going to save you for somebody getting on your butt from speeding through the parking lot and being disrespectful and possibly creating a hazard there with that. Water and Gatorade, please. So what are we talking about with that, right? A lot of guys, again, it's the understanding your role when you get out here to the job, right? One of the things, like I just mentioned a while ago, when you're setting that truck up, like, make sure you have water, you have Gatorade. If it's really cold, take your lineman's rubber gloves and put them inside the cab so they can get nice and toasty. Like, make sure that you have everything ready and prepared for that lineman or that foreman when you get on the truck with them. So just make sure that a couple things, just make sure that the bucket truck is clean and fuel before the end of the day if you have the time. Because again, guess what? If you get that call out, right, at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock that night, you don't want to be like I used to have to do, because I wasn't disciplined at the very beginning. Have to get out there trying to clean off the truck, trying to fuel it up, trying to reload material, because now we got a broke pole out there in the middle of nowhere. And so take the time. If you get in early, clean your truck off. Make sure that it's cleaned up. Go on and put some ice on there. Make sure that you have your Gatorade and stuff ready. Like, preparation is key. Don't let your water bottle sit in the sun. So if you get a case of water, this is like, man, why is he mentioning that? Well, a lot of people do it. Like, the little things make a difference, right, in the success of your career, of getting out there and being successful. And I know for me, I didn't realize it till I got to going. You sit a bottle of water out there in the sun for 3 or 4 days or whatever, it tastes nasty and it tastes horrible. And when the lineman has been up there working the type of weather that they're working right now, you want to make sure that they have clean, cool water, that when they boom down, you already have it in your hands. Say, hey, boss, here you go right here. Anything else you need, making sure that you're taking care of them, because if you take care of them, they'll take care of you. Make sure you have different flavors. Make sure that your foreman and any other coolers, whatever crew that you're on, make sure that everybody has everything they need to stay hydrated, properly hydrated, and making sure that they have enough ice. If you do forget to keep your coolers iced up, especially during the summertime, I guarantee it's only going to take you one time and you'll never forget it again. So I'm trying to give you a warning, and I'm trying to ask you to please make sure that you got plenty of ice, you got plenty of water, you got plenty of Gatorade, squinchers, or whatever the case may be, to make sure everybody's being hydrated. And again, when you see that boom start coming down after the guys have been up there working 2 or 3 hours, hey, make sure you already have it ready for them. Hey, here go your bottle of water, here go your bottle of Gatorade. Those type of things make a difference, because it lets the lineman know in the bucket that, hey, this guy on the ground, he's trying, he's caring, and he's paying attention. All right? You're working with grown folks and sometimes grown kids, right? So what I mean by that, you're going to be dealing with a lot of different personalities out there, right? You're a young individual who's coming in, man or woman. You just come out of a lineman program. You're feeling macho. You're feeling, hey, man, I can climb a pole, in 4 seconds flat and all these great things, which is really good. But you're fixing to get into the real world environment. I tell my guys all the time, when we're doing our training, you're in a controlled environment right now, right? You don't have to worry about dogs attacking you, 18-wheelers passing you by. You don't have to worry about working in the right of way and getting ate up by red bugs or wasp nests or yellow jackets or cussed out by the customer. Like, you're in a controlled environment right now, and now you're fixing to go into live action, right? And so with that, you need to understand that you're out there working with and learning from grown people, right? Grown men and grown women who have bills, who have responsibilities, who have goals from the company that they're trying to achieve. And the playing and being disrespectful and all that kind of stuff, it really doesn't go far, right? You don't want that type of name for yourself. And unfortunately, you got some grown kids out there. You got some grown kids out there who like to play, who like to, do certain things, to haze or whatever the case may be. But I'm going to ask you to be above that, right? Take this thing seriously, because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we're having too many fatalities coming about, right? And we need to level set, and we need to get focused, and we need to take our safety back, right? And we need to let the industry know that we're serious about this thing. Like, one life is one life too many, right? And so our goal is not to lose any more lives in this industry. And so I see sometimes these guys get out here and they get distracted because they want to play or want to have a good time. And it's a time and a place for everything. That's what my mom used to say. And so I'm going to say the same thing. It's a time and place for everything. When you get out there on the job and you get that job brief and y'all sit out those cones, make sure that you're focused on what needs to happen. All right. Make sure you're focused on what needs to happen. And with that, I'm going to ask you to act like an adult, because you are an adult, right? Learn to take constructive feedback. You're going to be in a situation where these linemen and foremen and all these other individuals, they're going to be giving you constructive feedback on the things you need to do to be successful. Take it to heave. Don't let it hurt your feelings. Don't let it put you in a slump. Take it and say, you know what? They're not going to have to ever say anything else about me being late again. You know what? They're never going to have to say again that, I wasn't the one to have my bucket truck ready, or I'm doing this or doing that. Like, that's the point I got into my career. I was like, you know what, boss, this is the last time you'll ever have to have this conversation with me again, because right now I'm smelling myself. Right now I've come in, I've gotten lax, I made it through my 6-month probation, and now I've gotten lax, and I'm thinking that I can do this and I can do that, and that's not the case. So I'm going to tell you to keep that discipline about yourself. Be approachable and willing to learn. That's one of the things that I stress to my guys and younger guys all the time. When you have a rainy day, ask questions. Get a napkin, get a brown paper bag, try to draw it out. Get on your T&D power skills and watch videos. Be a student of the game and ask questions. Hey, why did you shape that wire like that? Hey, why do you don't want the square washers to be diamond? Like, why did you put your hoist on that side of the face compared to on that side of the face? When you do that, that lets people know that you're engaged, that you're being observant, and that you want the information because you want to be the best. All right? Don't be that person that says nobody can't tell me anything. Be approachable and willing to learn. I just mentioned that. Don't be the person who always tells jokes and clowns around, because no one would ever take you seriously, and it starts to get annoying on the job. Use common sense and common knowledge. You will struggle in the industry if you don't have either, right? And so making sure you're doing the things that you need to do each and every day. Some people say common sense is left, but we got to have common sense and common knowledge, and we got to be able to ask questions, and we have to be engaged in the type of work that we're doing. All right. Observation, 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 right? Why do I keep saying it over and over and over and over and over? Because you guys on the ground, you need to be observing and watching what's going on. One of the major major frustrations that I've seen in the industry, that we can have a simple task of, okay, we're going to go out here, we're in the middle of a field, and we got 4 or 5 poles, 40-foot poles to set. And we're going to set them 200 foot apart. We don't have, we've done locates. We don't have no water in the ground. We don't have no fiber in the ground. We don't have nothing in the ground. We're just going to get out here and set poles and put down anchors, right? And so we pull up to the first pole. We set the truck up. Of course, we do all our job briefings and all that kind of stuff. And then we start going to work, right? And we know we got to have a tamp, and we know we got to have a shovel, and we know we got to have an anchor rod and the plate, and we got to have that stuff put together, right? So we get done with the first one, right? We go to the second one. I see guys, unfortunately, they get out there and they like it's the very first time, right? We just did the task. We're going to do the same task over and over and over for the next 4 or 5 times. And so you need to be observant and say, if somebody shows you this one time, okay, you need to be grasping and not just being there just to be there, right? You need to say, okay, he did this way for this reason. He put this in this place for this reason. So on the next job, I know when we go to set another pole in an open field, all the locates have been done and everything has been taken care of. I need to have all these things laid out, plumb bobbin, pocket, crescent wrench, whatever the case may be, so we can get out here and perform the work, right? And I can keep the crew on track and nobody having to tell me, hey, you need a shovel because we are digging a hole. Hey, you got to have a wood tamp. Hey, where's the anchor rod? Hey, where's your plumb bob? We got to plumb this pole up. Hey, you got to be on the north side of the pole, not on this side because the phases are going that way. Being observant and making sure that you understand what's going on. So here, got a couple points again. Take the time to master the skill. Put your phone in the pocket or put it in the truck. We talked about that earlier. And start observing the person in the bucket and assist the other crew members on the ground. If your neck doesn't hurt from looking up, you are not observing in the bucket. My foreman used to tell me that all the time. If you're not doing that by the end of the day and it's all hot work going on all day long, it's either you're not in a good position, right, or you're not paying attention, right, because you need to be up there focused, locked in on those guys in the field, up there in the bucket doing the work. If the person in the bucket must boom down to tell you what they need, you are not observing, right? Now, I can understand there might be some type of certain situations where you might not know, or if they come to a stopping point and up there, they might call a stop work, and then they come down to communicate. But if you're doing the normal practices, you're putting everything together for a pole top conventional transformer, you're making up a service, putting down a ground rod or whatever the case may be, you need to be observant and nobody should have to tell you the things to do over and over and over. Once you have watched someone doing something, explain it back to them and take a break. Ask a few questions. Hey, why did you shape the wire that way, right? What was the measurement between the transformer hangers? Why did you turn every flat washer to look like a square compared to looking like a diamond, right? Just asking those questions to let people know that you are engaged and that you are paying attention. Stop making videos and start working, all right? I struggle with this because we are in a content creation phase now in the world. 20 years ago, we wasn't into content creation. I mean, you had TV, ABC, NBC, and they controlled all those markets, right? Now, everybody has access to create content. And unfortunately, with creating content, the way it's designed is the sillier or the stupider the content is, the more likes you get, right? You take somebody who does something really silly, right? Because they're trying to get what they call Insta famous overnight or whatever. They might get 1,000 or 1,000,000 clicks or whatever the case may be. And so don't put yourself in a position, especially out here in the field, when you're trying to, get your likes up and you're out here doing silly stuff. I see guys out here with the company uniform on and the hat on, and they're out there trying to jig behind the bucket truck, or they're doing silly stuff or whatever. Like, represent your company in a professional way. Like, how would you want, if you own a company, how would you want somebody to represent your company, right? I see guys all the time, and you go on YouTube, you have guys that's up there in the bucket, filming themselves. Gosh, I would hope that you're not breaking a safety rule, because then if you do, that's evidence that you're blatantly breaking a safety rule. So make sure that you are following your company's policies, making sure that, okay, if you're going to create content, let it be your personal content. But I would ask you, don't let it be company content where you have company logos and things like that on and you shine a bad light on the company. That's going to put you in a bad position, because once it goes out there, it's just like a bullet. Once you hit go and it goes out to the masses, and even if you delete it, we have this thing on here on our phones where we can click both buttons and we can save that video and we can repost it ourselves. So the information in the video and the content, it really never goes away. So don't make content videos for your social media account while at work. You're probably breaking the company policy. If you film yourself breaking a safety rule, you'll probably be on probation or terminated. And remember, when you're working, most likely someone is filming, so always do the right thing. everybody, I'm not gonna say everyone, but the majority of people, right, have door cameras, have cameras all around their house and other things like that. Like, always be mindful when you're dealing with the public and the things that you say that you possibly could be recorded. So make sure that you're doing the right things, right? Even if you're just out there in that open field scenario that I'm talking about, it may be somebody just hiding there in the bushes just seeing if you mess up, because if you mess up, that's content, and that content will get them a lot of streams, and therefore they're going to try to fatten their pockets. So people, unfortunately, with the content are looking for bad things to post and not wholesome, positive, reinforcing things to post. If you look at it, you look at the difference, negative always outdoes positive in the content world. Right? One of the ones that I pride myself on this chapter right here, guys, hard work don't hurt, or does not hurt, right? I pride myself on getting out here and working hard each and every day. There's nothing wrong with getting out here working harder each and every day. A lot of guys come in, and once they come through the school, they think that they've made it, right? You have to be the type of individual to get out here and pride yourself on getting out here, working hard to do the things that you need to do to be successful. So don't be the person who runs in front of the run from the postal diggers or the slapsticks. Be the person to run to them. It takes tremendous effort and discipline to be the best. Right now, unfortunately, I get a chance to talk to like a lot of the younger generation, and it was a question that was asked to me and whoever's streaming right now. I would say my seasoned generation. We used to ask the question, your coach would ask it to you, or your social studies teacher, or your principal, or your mom and dad, whoever. But back then, you would get asked the question, do you want to be the best? And if I ask you the question right now, do you want to be the best? The answer should be, and I know everybody in podcast land is probably saying yes. Well, unfortunately, that's not the answer that I've been receiving from the younger generation. They say, I don't know, or, what does that come with? Or why do I have to want to be the best, And so that competitiveness and what I'm seeing has been dissolved for some reason. And so we got to get these young guys back competitive in wanting to be the best. So whatever type of apprenticeship program you have, I would ask you to try to think of a creative way to bring that competitive back, the right type of competitiveness. You don't want people going out here doing things above and beyond to get themselves hurt, and we don't want nobody to brown nose, but we want somebody to come in and be the best. Give me everything you got to show me that you're ready for that next step. And if you do that, right, you will never have to tell anybody what you do, right? They'll see what you do. I always say, I'm from the show me state, right? If you want to do something, don't tell me you want to do it. Just do it, right? And then let your actions, speak louder than your words. So it takes tremendous effort and discipline to be the best. You must want it. We can't want it for you. Get every minute of overtime you can, not for the money, but for the time and experience. It's like doing extra reps in the gym, right? When you go to the gym, you might do your normal steps, but if you want to take it to the next goal, say, man, I'm at 275 bench, I want to get to 300. If you just stay at that normal plateau, you'll never get to 300. What do you got to do? You got to push yourself. You got to get yourself in an uncomfortable position to get those extra reps and do the work. And so working overtime, working call-outs, working storms, just look at it as extra rep. And the reward, right, is you're getting more experience, right? You're getting a heftier paycheck, but overall you're building a relationship with the guys to say, hey, this guy, he's bought in. He's not working banker hours. He understands that this is what he signed up for, and this is what it's got to be. It's the service to the community. We are all here serving our skills to the community, to the customer. It's not about us. It's about making sure that they have the things that they need so we can have the things we all need, the Walmarts, the groceries, the gas, the internet, all these things. And so we're living in a highly demanding world right now where it's just at the point where they have to have power, the things we're blessed to be able to provide each and every day, 24 hours a day. So lazy crew members like to stick together, so be aware. You may not be liked for a long time because of your effort. guys, I'm gonna just be honest with you. When you start showing that different model of, hey, I'm gonna get out here, I'm gonna work a little bit harder. Hey, does anybody want to stay late? You raise your hand. Hey, we got a schedule outage. Anybody want to be here at 3 o'clock in the morning and help us out? When you start noticing that, doing that, your buddies, the one that you're with, right, they're gonna start maybe looking at you a little differently. Why? Well, the things I've been exposed to is because, well, now you're making me look bad. I'm not coming to work. Well, now you're coming to work. Now you're getting all this overtime. Now my boss is asking me, well, why you ain't coming to work? Curtis can be here. Curtis can sacrifice. Curtis has got, all of these other times, but you can't come out this weekend. You can't do this. You can do that. Well, we all got families and we all got things to do. But as I was told when I first got on here, you know what you signed up for, right? And so that's really, really important to understand, because what you signed up for is to serve your skills to the community and keep these lights on. So hard work doesn't hurt. A lot of people shy away from hard work. I would ask you to run to it, because it's helped me out tremendously. Again, talking about being the best, why am I putting more emphasis on this? Because it's a piece that has really taken a decline. We want you to be the best. We want you to be the best apprentice on your crew. We want you to be the best apprentice at the company, because if you're giving it everything that you have each and every day, you're taking safety into account, you're taking the work processes into account, you're trying to drive the best, you're doing the best. The best always rises to the top, ladies and gentlemen. It always rises to the top. And if you're giving it everything you got in the right way and going about things the right way, you'll never have to say what you're doing when you walk into that evaluation meeting with your supervisor, because he is going to know, because you know the person who's going to tell it. It's going to be your lineman. It's going to be your foreman. It's going to be your general foreman. And they're going to be able to see it. That safety representative, he's going to say, man, Brent is really getting out there, man. He is busting his butt. Man, I saw him, man. He was running back and forth between the trucks. He was communicating really well with the guys. He was, trying to use stop work authority, and they was communicating like he is engaged. He is locked in. Like that's going to catapult you to the next level. Right? And so we want you to be the best, because even if you decide not to stay on the line crew, right? Always remember, it's always going to be a foreman position come open, a general foreman, supervisor position, area manager position. And if you leave your name, your legacy is the only thing you really have in this industry. If you have that legacy of 10 or 15 years of hard work, showing people what you can do, right? It's not going to be a no-brainer. You're not even going to have to probably interview for that job when that job comes open, because somebody's going to be willing to take a chance on you, and they know, hey, that's a safe bet. Why? Because that man, he gets out there and work. We never had any issues with him. He comes in early, he stays late, he sacrifices his time, he does what he needs to do, and he holds himself accountable and his crew members accountable, so he's always trying to put the best foot forward. That's what you want individuals to say about you, ladies and gentlemen, coming into the industry. Like, make a strong name for yourself. Don't make a name where they say, oh man, that guy ain't worth knocking over the head. I wouldn't have him on my crew. He won't work. He won't show up on time. He won't do anything. What are we going to do, right? It's either going to be a termination, or they're going to put you on a very strict probationary period if you're not already out of your probationary period. All right. It's not okay. It's not okay to be considered below average. Let your work speak for itself. Accept as many after-hour call-outs as possible. This will not only fatten your bank account, but it also give you extra time to learn the craft. Again, it's like extra reps. I got a lot more experience in my overtime on catching call-outs, because if they call for 5 and I was number 4, well, again, guess what? I got a chance, an opportunity to work the line truck that night, right? And so everything was, coned off. We had all the procedures and stuff together. All right, Curtis, we're going to let you take the time. We're going to let you operate the line. That was some great experience. During the day, I might have already got that experience. I might have had the shovel in my hand. But now, hey, we're going to let you operate the line truck. Okay, here we go. It's time to show what I can do and see if I was paying attention. And that's why it's so important. That's what I'm trying to stress to you all about, making sure that you're observing and making sure that you understand what's going on, because you're going to get put in that situation when they say, okay, so-and-so's not here. Curtis, you got to run the line truck. Oh, Okay, how do you put down the outrigger legs, or how do you boom up the this? Or what does this mean? What does this mean? You know, you need to be paying attention and make sure that you're engaged. And when your name is called, right, you can show them that, hey man, this guy, he's ready to do what he needs to do, and he's been paying attention and he's focused. Stop talking and listen sometimes. We really need you to, when you're observing and you're listening at that feedback, we need you to take it in and digest it and understand it. We need you to listen. You don't have to say, one of the things that I see young men struggle with and young women struggle with in the industry is somebody will show you something one time and then we'll try to show you something the second time because, just say for instance, it's making up a cutout in a restaurant or T bracket. And we see that you're doing it wrong, and then the first thing before we can say something, oh, I already know how to do that. Oh, I was gonna do that. Oh, I wasn't gonna do it this way. Sometimes it's just best, as my mom used to say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, and keep it moving. Accept the feedback. Just listen. Because if you listen, I will pretty much guarantee you we're gonna try to share it to you in a way where it's not gonna be as hard for you. But a lot of guys, they don't want to listen because as soon as we give them a task, they want to start saying they want to do this or saying they want to do that. And guys, just listen. And and I'll give you another tidbit. If that lineman, foreman, general foreman, whoever, if they tell you how to do a task 2 or 3 times, right, just listen at it. Don't get aggravated, don't get mad, don't get up there and start using cuss words and all that kind of stuff because they think you dumb. It's a process behind it, right? And so if he tells me every time, hey, you need to go get that shovel and you need to have it on this side, right? And he tells me that 2 or 3 times, well, if I start noticing I'm start doing that same task and he don't never mention anything, that's a pass. Because now he's letting me know, hey, he's got that work assignment down. He's got that trait down that I wanted him to do it because I want it done this way. Because this is another thing that I'm gonna tell you. Your opportunity to do it the way you want to do it is going to come, but it's not going to be right now, right? Everybody that's sitting in the role right now, they had to go through the same thing that you're going through. If you want to do it a certain way, okay, your time is going to come. But if they're foreman, if you're general foreman or somebody tells you to do something a certain way and it's not going to hurt you, it's not going to prolong the job, it's not going to make the job more difficult, it's going to satisfy the customer, do it. Right? And when your opportunity comes, right, you can then shift it, mold it, however way you want it to be, because the old saying go, it's always more than one way to skin a cat, right? Or a rabbit or a dog or a deer, or whatever the case you want it to be. So it's always a different way in doing that. So just stop and listen. Listening is fundamental. Instructions is fundamental because it will definitely save you a lot of heartache and pain, all right? Repeat what you just heard. It will confirm that you understood the instructions by the line worker or lead person. Do not be the person who acts like they know it all. I'm telling you, I tell my guys all the time, and I try to share this. It's a superpower in staying humble, especially in line work. In line work, we suffer from machoism, if that's a word, being macho, that macho attitude. But it's a power in staying humble. Staying humble and being approachable and letting your yes be yes and letting your no be no and all those things. It's power in that. So keep yourself at a place where when you hear an event, don't be the first person, I wouldn't have never done that. That was the stupidest thing ever and blah, blah this, blah, blah that. Because we all know in this thing called line work, what goes around comes around, right? And so never put yourself in a position where you're shooting a big gun is what I was always told. Stay humble. Ask questions. When you have something to share, ensure that it relates to the topic, right? Please think before you speak. It is so important. It is so important on and off the clock, right? And so I mentioned this because I've seen, and of course myself, safety meetings, right? Crew meetings, team meetings. Like, we want you to speak up. We want you to be engaged, but just take the time to think, right, before you speak, because it can definitely lead to some question marks, right? If the wrong thing is said and people are going to start questioning like, hey, is this person really engaged? Does this person really know what's going on? Because what he's talking about is related to nothing that we're dealing with. So let's be mindful of those type of things. All right. This is what you signed up for. Yes, I mentioned it earlier. We don't have the pleasure of working banking hours, right? 365, 7 days a week, 24 hours. We are blessed with the opportunity to keep the lights on. There will be sacrifices. I can't tell you how many birthdays I've missed, how many anniversaries I've missed, how many sports events I've missed, how many funerals I've missed, so many things that I've missed, right? The sacrifice, right, of getting out here and providing this service to our customers, right? So what I ask you is, don't let your sacrifice be in vain, right? You're away from your home, you're away from your family. When you get back home, let home be home. Let family be family. Spend as much quality time with your family and your friends as possible, because when you get that call, right, it's time to go to work. And so it's not about you, it's about the customer. And I would say as well, it's about the safety, right? Safety is important. It's number one. Don't be the person who doesn't work call outs and outages. If you have that mindset, you probably will not have a job for very long. Don't miss a call while you're on your probationary period. So you're getting looked at from head to toe during your probationary period. It may be 6 months, it may be 9 months. You need to be giving your best effort during that probationary period, letting people know that you're appreciative of the job, but again, you're ready to go to work. Remember, you don't have lights during the storm. This would keep you motivated during others' time of need. So if you don't have any lights, there's more initiative of getting out there and making sure that others have lights, making sure that they're good, your mom, your grandparents, or whoever, so therefore it can take a little bit of stress off of your family or whatever the case may be. So, excuse me, so make sure that you're in a position where when you hear the lights go out, remember somebody's in the dark and somebody's depending on you to get it back on. All right, we're getting close to the end. There's no crying in line work or the trades. Guys, I say this not to offend anybody, but unfortunately I see now some younger generation may struggle with this, and it's not due to somebody saying something to you or cursing you out or whatever the case may be. I see a lot of frustration with the operation of manual tools, right? Using a set of post hole diggers, right? Or using a crescent wrench the right way when your impact goes out, right? Or a funny wrench, or an extendo stick, a scope stick, like the manual tools that we use, a chain hoist, a web hoist. Like I see a lot of guys get frustrated because they can't get out there and figure out how to use a web hoist, or they can't, they haven't had a lot of practice with utilizing the extendo stick to take a fuse out of the cutout, and it gets frustrating to them. And a lot of times when people get frustrated, right, they get emotional, right? You got to control that, right? You got to understand that this is a manual tool, right? This manual tool, that set of slapsticks, right, is a non-breathing, non-thinking, non-feeling object. It's just here, right? And you cannot let those set of post hole diggers whip you and make you emotional so you can't complete the task that was given to you. Same thing with an extendo stick, all right? It says right here, don't let the telescoping stick whip you because it loves to fight. Anybody who use extendo stick understand what I'm talking about, right? And it loves to fight. Its best friends, an extendo stick's best friend is wind, rain, sunshine that is coming directly in your eyes, right? And the nighttime, right? And so you have to master these physical tools, right, to be successful. And that's why I say you have to want to be the best. You have to put in the time. You have to work extra. And the more you utilize these manual tools and understand that process of doing it, right, the better you're going to be, right? And so when it took you 15 minutes to open and close the cutouts, when they sent you down there to close it in, if you continue to rep the reps, right, and putting in the work, it might take you 2 minutes after they call you and tell you, hey, let's go on and close it in and make this thing hot. All right, and I see a lot of guys struggle with the manual tools, right, and they get emotional. You got to put in the work. If you're not understanding how to use a chain hoist, if somebody is making mention to you, man, I have told that son gun 4 or 5 times how to put that chain hoist on, and he's still putting it on backwards. Hey guys, you need to take some self-reflection and say, hey man, after work, could you give me 15 more minutes, man? I'm just struggling at. Where's the release button on this thing again? Like, get around the back of the truck and do some rigging or something to figure out what you are weak in and master that weakness, right? So you can move on to the next task. And so there's no crying in line work. This is what we signed up for. Your body is gonna hurt, your back is gonna hurt, your shoulders are gonna hurt. But if you listen to the linemen, the foremen, your safety professionals, and all these great tools that we have here at the company, right, you can save yourself a lot of heartache and pain, especially on your physical body. Please don't be the guy to want to show how strong you are and go out there and pick up a 10 kVA transformer and put it on the back of the pickup, or you out there, somebody blocks off a pole and you know it's an 8-foot piece and you want to be real macho and grab it and pick it up and throw it on the back of the line truck. Like, we use very expensive equipment, right? Utilize the equipment, utilize team lift, chop the pole up in smaller sections, whatever you got to do to save your body. Like, really think before you act. And that's what we're trying to really put forth into this, into the industry now, is think before you act. Use your human performance tools. We have all these tools in place to try to keep people safe, but people struggle because of the free will that's been out there, right? And we have a decision to make, right? It's either you're gonna follow the rules or you're not gonna follow the rules. And so when we don't follow the rules, that's when events happen. So I'm asking you to please follow the rules and fight against those shortcuts where, hey man, I'll have to walk over there 4 or 5 times to get that piece of pole, but if I can just grab it and throw it on the truck, that's just one time. Well, that one time might be the time where you sprain your back or herniate a disc or whatever, and then boom, here we go, we have an event. All right? Your specification book is your friend. That's your spec book. Knowing the specs, understanding where things go. Hey, we're gonna start out with a pole top pin. We're gonna do our cross arm. We got the braces. We got a T-bracket. And then we're gonna come down with our cluster mount. Then we got 3 transformers. Then we're gonna come down another 12 inches for our neutral, mainline neutrals. And then we're gonna come down after that another 12 inches, 18 inches with our triplex or our quad service. Like, knowing where everything goes will help you on the ground and pay attention to when that lineman goes up there in the bucket, he's gonna start at the top. Right? So making sure you have everything laid out. It's just like a surgeon getting ready to operate. He's got all his tools and instruments in place. So when that lineman looks down, he should be able to see, hey man, that guy's got a 10-inch and a 12-inch bolt with a washer and a nut. He's got his pole top pin. He's got his insulator. That's his hard head. That's his other bolt. That's his T-bracket. You got everything lined up to show that, hey man, I'm engaged, I locked in, and I know what's going on this pole. And so the specs are really, really important. And so you're not going to, learn them to get up there and do the work. But if you study them and that guy says, hey, we're going to go work on a C8 or hey, we're going to go work on an A5, you know what that is. And now that's your cheat sheet to say, hey, these are the things I need to have on the ground to make life for my lineman a lot easier. So you will learn something new each and every day you come to work. It's impossible to know everything, but one must have a strong foundation for what is required for the job. Don't rush. The opportunity to do energized work will come. You're going to get your opportunity to work in the bucket. Take your time and focus on learning the ground, right? Review the safety rule book and specifications as much as possible, especially the safety rule book. Don't take somebody's word for something, right? Do your research, understand the information, digest the information, and stay in it. Be engaged. Safety is the #1 key. Right? When rainy days occur, review the information and ask for questions to the seasoned individuals or the seasoned guys on the crew. Again, that's staying engaged, letting people know that, hey, I want to know this type of information and could you help me? Respect is earned and hard work is valued, right? Be respectful. It's still respectful out here, especially my younger guys, when you're dealing with guys who have 35 years in the industry, 30 years in the industry, 40 years in the industry, 25, whatever the number is. It goes a long way to say yes sir and no sir, yes ma'am and no ma'am. I have been told myself Don't call me sir. That's going to make me feel old. Don't call me ma'am. That's going to make me feel old. Well, I'm not trying to make you feel old. I'm just trying to let you know that I respect you and that I value you as an individual, and that, hey, the things that you went through to help build this industry out, I'm respectful of it, right? They say the kids who write graffiti on the wall, right, don't know the history. That's the reason if they knew what it took to build a wall, they would never write the graffiti on the wall, right? So it's still, now be respectful. If somebody says, don't say yes sir, don't say no sir to me, I don't want that, just call me Bob, just call me Jim, be respectful of that. But you can tell if you got your seasoned guys who's been in it for a while, it goes a long way to show that respect. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Hey, I'm 41 years old and I still tell a young person, yes, sir. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. And all this other stuff, because that's just how I was raised. And, and some things just never you get rid of as time goes on. Let the language released from your mouth be respectful each time you open it. Always be respectful to the customers we serve. This will affect our customer surveys. You might not know this, but everybody else knows this. You want to be very respectful and be the type to take the shovel out of a seasoned employee's hand. And I'm referring to that guy that's been there 35, 45, 50 years. Look, man, if they're out there still grinding, still pushing crews, like take care of those guys. Like make sure they got water and stuff in their coolers. If they're out there trying to shovel and all that kind of stuff, like if you ain't got nothing in your hand, you need to be trying to take the shovel out of their hand and making sure that they have everything they need, because they have so much wisdom and knowledge. You need to be trying to get every single thing from them. Listen at every story, listen at every scenario, like take great notes, like really gravitate to that person, because once they retire out, right, it's going to be on you, right? So grasp as much information as possible. Remember, respect is earned and hard work is valued, right? Value your life when others don't. This is coming into the safety piece of it, right? Some folks might say it's a waste of time. Shortcuts leads to the fast track to death. Again, we're fighting against that free will of understanding doing right versus doing wrong. It's just like being out here in the natural world, right? We know what's right, we know what's wrong. So try to do what's right each and every day. And doing what's right each and every day takes discipline. You have to be disciplined and put forth effort to do the right thing. A lineman told me one time many, many years ago, it's so easy to do what's wrong, but it's so hard to do what's right. And I won't never forget that. The safety book was written for a reason, right? And a lot of people say it was written in blood, right? And it was. It's off of the mistakes and off of the failures and off of the unfortunate situations that occurred. And so we are trying to tell you, don't make these type of situations happen for yourself. Don't do this. If you do this, it's going to be a tremendous consequence when you do this, right? And unfortunately, people don't read the book, right? So they therefore don't know the information in there. And so they don't know if they're repeating one of those topic lines or not. And so when you don't know the information and then you repeat it, well, therefore, you're going to start having yourself a consequence, and then you're going to start making shortcuts and doing all these other things, and you're going to get yourself in a position where it's, as we say, a point of no return. So make sure you understand the hazard identification programs are worthless if you don't learn them and apply them to your everyday work. Like we have all of this information, safety rule books, we have all these safety management programs, but you know what? If we don't use them, as one person used to say, it's worth a hill of beans. But you know what? I thought about it, like a hill of beans is worth something, because you can go to the grocery store and buy a bag of them from Walmart for $1.50. So I said, well, it ain't worth the hill of rocks. But then I said, well, shoot, a hill of rocks is worth something, because you can get a gravel dumped into your yard, so you're paying for that. So I was like, well, what's something that's worthless you can get a pile of that everybody have access to? And I said, you know what? I've never seen anybody sell a pile of leaves. I've never seen I see people sell straw, but I've never seen somebody on Facebook Marketplace say, hey man, I got a pile of leaves here. I want you to, somebody wants to come and buy them. And so if you don't use this information that they have forthwith right here, it's as worthless as a pile of leaves. it ain't gonna do nothing except you can either set it on fire or try to blow it in the edge of your property and let it mold or dissolve. So if you don't use the information, it's worthless. Don't let the negative peer pressure of shortcuts change the person that you are. Fight against it. Speak up for yourself. Shortcuts just lead to more shortcuts. And when you continue to have those shortcuts and you get away with it, you feel as just as we deal with here in the free world, when you start getting away with it, you start getting more and more addicted to it. And then when the Swiss cheese model lines up and the event happens, we go back and look at the history and we can tell that you've been doing it over and over and over and over again. So the way to reduce that or eliminate that is stay in your safety rule book, stay disciplined, keep the feedback, understand the feedback that's been shared, and make sure that you're utilizing all the tools that your company is equipping you with. And we're not talking about the web hoist and chain hoist and all that kind of stuff. We're talking about human performance. We're talking about the safety management tool. We're talking about their safety meetings. We're talking about all the great training that you guys be exposed to. Those are the tools that's going to help keep you safe at the end of the day. All right, and like again, want plus work equals results. This is the one that my foundation is named after. Again, we're free to get ready to close this up. But you gotta want something. You gotta want something in life, and if you know what you want, then therefore you gotta put in the work to go get it. So I know for me, and the way I come up is I wanted certain things because I didn't have that, right? So I wanted certain things, and so in order for me to get those certain things, it may be a pair of pants, it may be shoes, it may be a shirt, a jacket, whatever. I had to work for it, right? So want and work has to go hand in hand. Like you can't want something and not work for it and think you're gonna get a result. It's gonna be a failure. You can't not have the want and desire, but you have a work ethic, your results are still going to get the same, because anybody can go and just pick up rocks out of a parking lot. That's a strong work ethic, but is it making a difference in the world, right? And so I try to tell my students and the young guys all the time, want plus work equals results, right? And it does. And I'll tell you this story right here before we get ready to close. The reason I come up with this is because I was having students come in and we would go out there and we would do the trainings and all that stuff, and they would be not motivated, and I would share my story and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, man, why do y'all not want it? Like, why do y'all not want the opportunity to get out here and to go to work and change your life for the better? Because we live in a community where maybe, there's not that many opportunities. Like, why don't y'all want it? Why don't y'all want to go to work? And so one of the students, after I pulled them all into the area just like this, we was taking a break. One of them said, Mr. Bradley, I got something I want to share. And I said, man, please, like, I'm open ears. Like, I got to get through to y'all. I got to get y'all in a position so we can get out here and get a job and go to work. And he said, well, the reason I struggle with work and wanting and all this kind of stuff, you know how you told those stories of, when you come up sometimes, y'all didn't have too much to eat, or you didn't, your mom, as you would say, used to rob Peter to pay Paul, or you didn't have, this, utility might be cut off, whatever the case may be. I said, yeah. Well, he said, well, that's not the life I live. He said, when my mom works all day and she comes home to work and I don't want to eat it, she takes me to McDonald's or Wendy's. When I get mad and I tear up my phone, they just go buy me another phone. When I don't want to go cut the grass, they'll just get the person that's cutting the other person's grass, they'll just go cut the grass. When I say I want, a Gucci belt to wear to school, I get a Gucci belt. And so when I was told that, it just really light bulb went off, right? And so you have to have want, right, to push work. If you have a society that don't want anything, right, what good is you doing for that society? So having those opportunities to want something, right, and understanding that you have to work for it, right, it'll take you to the top, right? But unfortunately, if everything has been given to you, you don't know the process of getting out here working for it because you've never had to want for anything in your life. So I just wanted to share that. So this is the end of my presentation. I just want to say thank you to all. Welcome to Linework. I am Lineman, selected to lead. We had all this information throughout the internet. So if you got any questions, please reach out to Brent. Please reach out to myself. Guys, I just want to simply say this thank you. Thank you for listening at me. Hopefully the information that I shared has been impactful to make you think about something a little bit differently, how to really engage with your entry-level employees to get them on a level of wanting to be the best, being respectful, getting out here going to work. Hard work doesn't hurt, knowing what they want, what kind of goals they have out for themselves, understanding that this job doesn't work off of banker hours. Like, you know, we covered a lot of information, but again, the information ain't worth a pile of leaves if you don't apply the information, right? So guys, thank you for your time. Brent and the team, y'all are wonderful. I appreciate y'all so much. Please be careful, please be safe. And I'll end the call like I always end. Everything starts and ends with leadership. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day.